Welcome back to Recapping Steven Universe from Memory, where I go episode by episode, recapping just from what I remember the episode being. Before we start Season 4, I just want to say, if I don't remember an episode, I'll try to refrain from saying nothing happens for X amount of minutes, because I notice I've been doing that. To me, that's as disrespectful as calling an episode filler, which I would never do. I wouldn't dare do that. I wouldn't dare call an episode filler. It was just that Season 3 had those episodes back-to-back where it was just filling time until Jasper shows up at the end. Anyway, Season 4 of Steven Universe, let's get hyped. Kindergarten Kid. Oh yes, this is an homage to Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoons where Peridot tries to capture a gem monster. This episode is Wacky Cartoon Antics. And then she finally catches the monster. Know your fusion. Steven and Amethyst wanted to show their Smoky Quartz fusion to Pearl and Garnet, and they're so excited about it. They fuse into Sardonyx and take Smoky Quartz into their talk show that's just in the void. They have a talk show in the void.
Easy crowd, huh? Where'd you get them?
I made them myself.
So Sardonyx is trying to figure out what Smoky Quartz's powers are. They just have their yo-yo. Their yo-yo is the power.
Yes, the yo-yo. Seen it, lived it, loved it. But what about the rest of your game?
I ain't exactly a deck of cards here.
Sardonyx tries to put Smoky through power trials, but those don't work out because they just have the yo-yo. The void they're in starts to crumble and they get out of there. Buddy's book! Steven and Connie at the library try to do some research. Connie has a history project, so she's trying to study the history of Beach City. There was this explorer back then named Buddy, where he explores various gem locations, just learning all there is to know. He meets up with Rose Quartz and her lions. Her many lions. She has a lot of lions. Later on, he's like, wait, I didn't actually discover any of these. These were already here. And Rose tells him, you can still keep a record of everything you found. Doesn't matter that you didn't discover them, you can still keep a record of them. And that's the book Steven and Connie are reading. On to the next episode. Mindful Education.
Connie, I'm bald!
Oh.
Stevonnie is doing combat training, but they suddenly unfuse because Connie remembered she flipped a kid over in school and she's like, oh no. So they meditate with Garnet for a while and sing a little song.
Take a moment to think of just flexibility, love, and trust.
Take a moment to think of just flexibility, love, and trust.
So Connie is back in the game, infused as Stevonnie, but uh-oh, Steven's having trauma now from all the previous encounters that he's had, which are a lot more severe in comparison. So they fall off the ledge unfused, Steven crying, Connie's gotta calm him down, and they fuse back into Stevonnie and float down safely, Yoshi style. Future Boy Zoltron. This character, Mr. Smiley, who runs the Funland Arcade and Amusement Park, has one of those robot fortune teller things. Oh no, it's broken. Put Steven in there. Have Steven be the fortune teller robot. This is the episode. This is an episode of television. He's actually very successful giving advice to people. Until this guy shows up, Mr. Frowny. I forget what his name is. Mr. Frowny over here. And Steven doesn't have any advice that could cheer him up, so he asks Garnet for future vision assistance.
Can I borrow your future vision? I want to help some random stranger I just met.
That seems like an appropriate use of my powers.
And even that doesn't work. The future vision also shows nothing would work. Turns out this guy used to be in a comedy duo with Mr. Smiley. They would be Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny. They would be a comedy duo. So they have a conversation and patch things up, and it's pretty nice. It's a decent episode. It kind of gives me Flapjack vibes. I will not elaborate. Last one out of Beach City. This is another one I have no idea what it is just from the title. Oh god, what is this episode? This is genuinely me recording my first reaction to this episode title. I don't know what the fuck that is. I might have to cheat. Just look at the first 5 to 10 seconds, see if I can get it from that. Oh, it's that episode. I just didn't know it was called that. I didn't know that was the title of this episode. I know this one. Steven, Amethyst, and Pearl were gonna go see a rock concert. Pearl's got a leather jacket on.
It's cool, because the collar isn't supposed to go that way.
So they're getting drinks at the donut shop. And this girl with pink hair walks in and Pearl's like, oh. So she tries to talk to her and absolutely fumbles. So anyway, they're driving to the rock concert, and the girl with pink hair is on a motorcycle next to them, and Pearl is just awkwardly looking at her. And I forget exactly what happens, but Pearl starts speeding down the road and has police chasing her, so she has to hide behind a billboard to escape them. Eventually, they do get to the concert, and the girl with pink hair is there, and Pearl tries again to talk to her, and it's a success. She got the girl's number.
Pearl, you're a total rock star!
What if I told you that the world was gonna end if you got leave me with me? I'm not leaving that in the video. Onion Gang. Steven hangs out with Onion and his group of friends all day. Do I have to talk about this? Onion's group of friends are equally as weird as Onion. I forget how the episode ends, but it's, if you like Onion shenanigans, this is a good one. Again, I'm not gonna say nothing happens. Things definitely do happen in this episode.
Hello, Suitcase sir. It is I, your faithful customer, Mr. Mature Man. Why'd you do that?
I just don't remember them. Gem Harvest. Another half-hour special. This is kind of a Thanksgiving special. Is that when it came out? Yeah, November 17th. It's a Thanksgiving special. Steven visits Peridot and Lapis back at the barn. They got corn.
Hello, Corn. Maybe she can't hear me in there.
And suddenly a plane lands near the barn. It's Steven's uncle, Andy. Apparently this is his barn, and he's upset that these green and blue ladies took it over. So Greg's gotta show up and talk to his brother. This is where we learned their last name is actually DeMayo. It was Greg DeMayo and Steven DeMayo. Andy DeMayo over here.
We're the DeMayos.
Actually, we're, the universes now.
You space walnut, you didn't even keep the family name, but you're going around giving family property out like candy on some kind of candy giving out holiday?
And Andy is your typical conservative uncle character.
They're alien refugees from space and
They're illegal aliens? What? You couldn't even marry an American?
So the Crystal Gems gotta convince Andy that Peridot and Lapis can keep the barn, and they have a Thanksgiving dinner about it. And I forget the specifics of why, but Andy flies away in his plane and Steven and Lapis try to chase him down. So Andy changes his mind. Yeah, Peridot and Lapis can keep the barn. I wasn't using it anyway. 3 gems and a baby. Flashback episode where Steven was just born. He is a baby. So Rose Quartz just left, and everyone's feeling her absence. Rose Quartz essentially changed her form into Steven, and Greg is trying to raise him as the half-human baby he is, but the Crystal Gems know that he still has Rose Quartz's gem inside of him.
Oh,
what's happening to him?
it's Rose.
What can I do to help?
Well, what do you do with a human baby when it glows?
First off, human babies don't glow. And letter number B, what if they do?
So, they kidnap him, trying to understand why did Rose Quartz change into this baby, and Pearl almost takes out his gem.
I can't.
Which made everyone in the fandom question what would happen if you took the gem out. Like, what would actually happen if the gem was taken out? So the Crystal Gems and Greg reach an agreement where Greg would raise him as a baby to a kid, and then once he's a kid, he would live with the Crystal Gems to learn more about his gem powers. That's what the Steven Universe extended intro short is about. Steven's dream. This is the start of another 5-episode arc. Steven's having dream of this palanquin in a grassy field. The fandom had to learn what the word palanquin is. For some reason, this dream is making Steven cry waterworks, and he recognizes this palanquin from Buddy's book. It's something gem-related, so he asks the gems about it. He's like, hey, is this related to the diamonds? I keep seeing this thing in my dreams, and my eyes won't stop watering. And he gets actually pissed that the gems won't tell him anything.
Steven,
Does this have something to do with Pink Diamond? I already know Mom shattered her, so what is it about this that you can't tell me? Rose is my mom, out of anyone. Don't I deserve to know the truth?
This isn't the time.
I don't care.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought the book.
Yes, you should have brought it. It's lucky something has some information that I don't have to get out of them.
So Steven goes to his dad and tries to figure out where this palanquin is located. And I forget how they found this out, but they borrowed Andy's plane to go to South Korea. That's where the palanquin was. I don't know how they found that out. I would have to rewatch the episode. They go to the palanquin, and Blue Diamond is there. Blue Diamond is mourning over the loss of Pink Diamond, and that's why Steven is crying. Uh-oh, they found Greg hiding in the bushes. Greg and Blue Diamond talk about losing a loved one. That's something they both relate to. And Blue Diamond kidnaps Greg, takes him to her ship, and flies away. Gosh dang it, the episode ended. This is the start of an arc now. Adventures in Light Distortion. The Crystal Gems still have the Ruby ship. Peridot was working on it. So they take the Ruby ship into space to try to find where Blue Diamond took Greg. Steven's gotta find his dad. And some wackiness occurs on the ship because this is a cartoon.
it's funny. In what way is this funny?
And it ends with this super intense scene where they're going light speed and Steven's pushed back into his chair and can't lean forward to stop the ship. Concussion. And that was the end of Steven DeMayo. He was knocked unconscious. Steven Universe continues, though. Gem heist. They found where Blue Diamond took Greg.
The human zoo.
Or at least dropped him off. He was dropped off here. So they gotta go in there and break Greg out of there. This takes 3 episodes to do. So I've barely talked about Pink Diamond in these videos. I should probably talk about Pink Diamond. So Pink Diamond was in charge of colonizing Earth, and Rose Quartz, the leader of the Crystal Gems, shattered Pink Diamond, so that's what stopped the colonization. But also, meanwhile, Pink Diamond was collecting humans and putting them in a zoo for her enjoyment. I don't remember what the deal with that was, but Pink Diamond had a human zoo, and that's where they think Greg is.
A private menagerie deep in space, humans in captivity.
And Steven gets into the zoo, which is the title of the next episode. The zoo is the... I love how I just didn't recap any of what happens in Gem Heist. Just the last minute when Steven gets to the zoo. I don't know, there's this character, Holly Blue Agate. She sure does have screen time. The zoo. The human zoo is pretty much an island resort where these humans are completely docile. They don't realize they're trapped. They're just having a good time. They're vibing.
Reach up like you're going to touch outer space. That's it. Reach up high. Wasn't that fun?
I have not had that much fun since yesterday.
These humans are just vibing in the zoo. They're having a great time.
Watch my splash, Greg!
Watch mine.
Those are the tiniest splashes I've ever seen.
But Steven and Greg gotta get out of there. They're like, maybe if we cause a commotion, someone will come in and take us out of the zoo. And that is what happens. That will be all. Steven and Greg are taken out of the zoo and into the court soldiers' quarters. Try saying that 3 times fast. And that's where Amethyst has been, just hanging out with other Amethyst quartzes. They're called the Famethyst. It's great.
Famethyst for life!
So Steven and Greg try to sneak out. They encounter Blue and Yellow Diamond in this room full of pink bubbles. Blue is still crying about Pink, and Yellow's like, shut up! I mean, really. She sings a whole song to Blue Diamond, like, what's the use of feeling blue? What's the point? I know you still love her, we're always thinking of her. Don't you know I miss her too? What's the use of feeling blue? So Steven, Greg, and the rest of the Crystal Gems sneak back to their ruby ship, but oh no, they got caught right at the end, and Pearl gives some final remarks.
You're really gonna tell the Diamonds that you allowed a band of traitorous rebels to infiltrate a highly secure facility and escape from right under your careful watch? Doesn't sound like a wise thing to do, Holly Blue. So do yourself a favor and keep your mouth shut. That will be all.
And this whole sequence of them leaving is pretty funny.
I've been waiting to do this all day.
And that was a 5-episode arc of rescuing Greg. I like to call this arc Rescue Greg the Movie. Moving on, we got the new Crystal Gems. While that whole arc was happening, Peridot, Lapis, and Connie were back at Steven's house, just cosplaying as the new Crystal Gems. They're the new ones. And yeah, Greg is missing too, so there's no one to manage the car wash that he runs. So Lapis uses her water powers to wash the cars. This episode's pretty chaotic.
Witness the Garnet!
And that I don't remember much of it.
You should be the Pearl. I'm nothing like Pearl. She's so uptight and sensitive. How dare you, I believe it!
Storm in the room! So Steven...
It's nice.
goes into that pink cloud room that can summon things and says,
I want to see my mom.
He summons his mom, just to hang out with an approximation of Rose Quartz. Just to feel what that would have been like. Just to hang out with his mom. Just a very sad time. Steven, of course, gets mad at his mom for leaving everyone behind.
I finally know the truth. I know what you are. You're a liar. Did you make me just so you wouldn't have to deal with all your mistakes?
It's a real introspective episode here. Rocknaldo! I'm not doing this one! I'm not doing this one! You can't make me talk about Rocknaldo! Rocknaldo has been declared by the fans to be the worst episode of the show. This episode is a can of worms, to say the least. So Ronaldo continues to make conspiracy theories about the Crystal Gems.
How to protect yourself against rock people? What? Alien entities walk among us? They're adding mind-controlling minerals to our water supply? They hate men?
Steven walks up to Ronaldo like, can you shut the hell up? What are you doing? What are you doing?
They have rocks embedded in their bodies.
Like this?
But they can summon weapons from the mud dimension. No, you're not getting it.
I'm a crystal gem, Ronaldo.
I gotta go rethink some things.
So Ronaldo has this stupid idea to join the Crystal Gems.
I'm joining the Crystal Gems!
For why? For why did he do that? I don't remember. I don't know why he's doing that. Why is this an episode? This episode is the ultimate, why did they make this episode? So Ronaldo wants to join the Crystal Gems. He has his own gem OC named Bloodstone.
Bloodstone!
That's what he would be, he's Bloodstone. And he just spends all day at Steven's house being annoying.
Bye, Connie. See you tomorrow for sword training.
Her gem weapon's a sword, huh? She totally ripped that off from me.
What? That sword belonged to my mom.
How come I don't get your mom's gempin? That's gem and weapon.
Well, Connie's been a part of the Crystal Gems longer than you, so...
Admit it. She's just in because she's your girlfriend.
What are you talking about?
Pretty much everyone who watched this episode wanted to punch their TV. So Steven had to walk back in there and emphatically tell Ronaldo, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. I didn't just want to use the get out sound effect again. I wanted to add my own little spin on it. More specifically, he tells Ronaldo, this is not some role play. This is my life. You can't just waltz in here and pretend to be a crystal gem. We're serious.
Whoa! You truthed him so hard he died.
And the episode ends with Ronaldo's funeral. I wish I wasn't joking. Tiger Philanthropist. I almost want to skip this one because I have no idea. It's like, hey, remember Tiger Millionaire from season 1? Here's the sequel episode. 3 seasons later, here's more of that. So Amethyst, as the Purple Puma, quits wrestling. And Steven's like, oh man, I still wanted to wrestle. We were such a cool tag team of Tiger Millionaire and Purple Puma. What am I gonna do now? And I think eventually Purple Puma returns to wrestling to make Steven feel better. I don't remember this episode, man. Room for Ruby. One of the rubies floating through space falls back down to Earth, and she's just oh so cute. She wants to stay here on Earth. So Steven brings Ruby to Lapis and Peridot to see if they can have a third roommate, maybe. And Peridot is mostly okay with this Ruby joining the barn, but Lapis is skeptical. And it's pretty much that the whole episode. This Ruby being adorable, and Lapis not understanding what her deal is. And yeah, it turns out this Ruby was faking it the whole time to get her ship back, so she got the ship back and she's gone.
I was right!
Lion 4, alternate ending. Steven's going over that VHS tape he got from the Lion 3 episode. Oh look, Lion's mane has a giant key. What does that open?
Of course! The answers were inside me the whole time!
Lion proceeds to take Steven across the desert to these pink pyramids to find where the key opens. It opens a chest with another VHS tape. He goes to Greg with this VHS tape and they watch it together. Turns out Rose Quartz made 2 identical tapes, just in case the child she was having was either a boy or a girl. She had 2 different names for the tapes.
Who's Nora?
Nora is you.
I'm my mom and my sister? What kind of destiny is this?
So yeah, this episode was a rabbit trail that ended up not being that important. Dug out! We finally get an episode with Connie's dad. He's a security guard for the Funland amusement park. They've been hearing strange noises in the amusement park. They go to investigate. It turns out the noises were Onion. The episode ends with these anonymous shadows. Oh, is that a new gem character? The good Lars. The cool kids want to invite Steven, Sadie, and Lars to Sour Cream's house for a potluck, and Steven and Sadie find out Lars can bake. Oh my god, he can bake! So they go to Lars's house and bake this thing called a ube roll. Looks pretty delicious. So Sadie goes over to the cool kids' potluck, but Lars is having reservations about going. He's just so insecure about everything. So Sadie and Steven are at the cool kids' hangout, and Lars ended up throwing his ube roll away and not showing up. Damn it, Lars. You had such an easy opportunity to be cool. Such an easy opportunity to make friends.
Bingo bongo. Bingo bongo.
Bingo bongo!
Bingo bongo. Bingo bongo.
Bingo bongo.
Are you my dad? Steven notices people have gone missing from Beach City. He's walking around yelling for Onion, Sadie, or Lars. They've gone missing. And he gets startled by this little creature.
A gem!
Are you my dad? I need to find my dad.
So that little fella's name is Aquamarine. She's here with another gem, Topaz, capturing humans. Topaz captures Connie. Oh no. I am my mom. So Steven tells the Crystal Gems that this Topaz gem is capturing his friends.
But there's loads of humans on Earth. Why are they only grabbing your friends?
Maybe because my friends are the best.
And I'm like, you ain't shit!
So they go to the Funland amusement park to fight them, but Aquamarine is like a little fairy. She has a magic wand that she can just move the gems around with.
I'm the one you're looking for.
Steven, do you know what you're doing?
So Aquamarine and Topaz are about to get away with the humans, but Alexandrite shows up to stop the ship. And I think what happens is the Topaz gem unfuses so the humans can be put into cages, so Steven has to break them out.
What?
And there's this scene where Lars has the opportunity to save Sadie, but he chickens out.
Lars.
Like a pussy. Anyway, the humans escape, they all jump out of the ship, but oh no. Aquamarine freezes them in place, so they're at a standstill, floating up in the air. So what Steven does is he sacrifices himself. He's like, I know what you really want. The leader of the Crystal Gems lifts up his shirt like, I'm Rose Quartz. Aquamarine's like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. Lars is still hiding away on the ship, by the way. He didn't jump out with the rest of them. So Steven sacrificed himself, going on the ship with them. So Steven and Lars go to space. Everyone's freaked out. And that is the end of season 4. I tell you what, these recordings, they go for an hour and I just run out of steam near the end. But you know, I want to finish what I start. You know, I want to finish the series. Oh boy, things are ramping up. Season 5 is the final season of Steven Universe. Not counting Future. What are they gonna do with Steven up there? We'll have to find out. Be sure to drop a like, comment, and sub-epi. That is the outro.